So today's video I'm going to talk about things I do or I try to do to stay healthy and positive and just in general just keep me creative and want to do things every day. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, it's actually the first thing I do in the morning, is to read. So it doesn't matter what book you read, it doesn't matter how long you read, how many pages, it just kind of gives me just the first thing to do in the morning, kind of escaping from life, from like things I have to do today, or if I'm in a rush to go somewhere. So I actually wake up a little earlier than I used to do before, and to give me at least 10 minutes of just reading. I kind of jump into different books. I read many books at the same time, and usually the one I read in the morning is more about learning things than actually storytelling. So the one I'm reading at the moment is about gut health, which I actually bought recently, and it's really, the way she written it, it's really funny, so it's like kind of open to everyone. It's not really medical or scientific, so it's kind of easy to read about the gut health and what it is exactly. But you actually don't have to read first thing in the morning, but I actually think that read at least once a day, so it can be on your way to work, in the subway, or if you're at home, it can be on your balcony, in your garden, after your lunch, after your breakfast, before you go to bed. I mean, it's just, doesn't matter when you do it, but I actually think, and it works for me, so that's why I'm sharing it here, that it just helped me kind of like disconnect and give me a little bit of freedom. My second tip, I actually recently read the book The Artist's Way, which I recommend because it's really good. And the first kind of exercise you have to do in the book, she talks about journaling and how, how it can relieve stress or anything that it's in your head. So she talked about just reading at least 3 pages in the morning, first thing in the morning, because it kind of like clear your head of what just happened during the dream. And it's kind of like, there's only one rule, is to not stop your pen, because sometimes we kind of think too much about what we're going to say, what we're going to write, and it's not raw or vulnerable anymore. Yeah, so I mean, there is many more tips in that book. She kind of talk about how you can get stuck as an artist. Doesn't matter if you're a writer or a dancer or a musician or a painter, like just an artist in general, and how things can actually stop you from believing in you and your art. So that's the first one, actually something that really resonates with me. And I think when I kind of established my morning routine, I was like, okay, I need to pick at least 2 things that works for me. I can't wake up like 2 hours before I'm supposed to just to do all these things. So I picked reading and then journaling, and another one we can touch base later, but there's some morning and I don't do it, and it's fine. And I think it's just, sometimes we just not do it for one day and then we kind of like, oh screw this, then it's over. But it's just going back into it. You can take 1 day off, 2 days off, a week off. I think it's just doing it just for yourself, not because you have to do it. So when you feel like you want to, and it's also when you feel very stressed, very overwhelmed, when you have to take a big decision in your life, when there's too many things happening, just to write it down on paper, just write how you feel. And then, I mean, it can be anything. You can also write like what you have to do today, or what's your goal for this week, or all this kind of stuff. It doesn't have to be really, there's actually no rule of what you have to write, just what's in your head, put it on paper. The third tip I'm going to share is move your body. So it's very important to me because that's kind of my job, but I think in the morning, I mean everyone, you can wake up really stiff. And actually one thing I actually taught my student once is like, first thing in the morning, if you actually sit down in your bed and just roll your head like this, it's like, it can sound dumb and really easy to do, but when you just wake up, it's so tight. So just doing this, it's kind of like, doesn't have to be the same thing. Sometimes I do 5 minutes, sometimes I do 2 minutes, sometimes I do 10, sometimes I do half an hour, depending on what time I have during my morning, but if I'm off or you have to work. But just give myself a little movement, which is, sometimes it can just be a breathing exercise laying down in my bed, a little yoga flow, some Pilates. If I have energy, I kind of do Pilates, so I just get some, you know, workout done, so it's like nice and gentle, not too harsh in the morning, because I try to like go for a run first thing in the morning, but it's just too intense for me. I'm not a morning person, so like, you know, wake up slowly. So I just do a couple of sun salutation from the yoga practice. Also have a foam roller, and then I kind of massage myself on it, and it's just the nicest feeling ever. And I actually read some stuff, if you actually massage yourself, it can prevent from cellulite and all the things that you don't want to have in your legs. So it's just like a blood circulation thing. You just want to have some circulation after being laid down for like, you know, 6, 7 or 8 hours of sleep. But also, you don't have to do it in the morning. I think it's important to have one form of exercise during each day, but it doesn't have to be high intensity. So for me, I try to walk every day, so I have to walk past the park for like half an hour walk when I have to go to work, and I really actually enjoy that. Just like give me a time to enjoy nature, especially since we live in London, which is a big city. I really enjoy seeing greens. And also I've been to a yoga festival, and then there's this lady who did a talk about mental health and kind of like yoga for mental health, but we kind of touched base on so many different subjects. And then she said that there's like scientific research say that if you actually see greens or see birds or listen to birds and see nature, it's kind of like preventing from mental health problems. So they say like go outside, and you know, all the vitamin you get from outside, it's really important. I try to do that. Also I teach Pilates a couple of times a week, so as a teacher you don't actually get to enjoy the class because you teach it, you don't really do it as a student. So I take class for myself. I'm lucky enough to have a membership at the Pilates yoga studio, which is really close to my home. So I try to do at least like 2 or 3 classes of yoga, Pilates or some sort of movement, and also take dance classes training. So I mainly go to Onyx at the moment. So the same thing, independent weeks, but that's kind of, yeah, what I'm doing. And then also my movement every day, which is kind of morning or evening, depends, or sometimes both. And my last tips, which is actually not really, it's kind of like cover a lot of things, but something that really keep me interested and excited about new things and wanted to create new stuff, which is like dance or like life or Pilates or anything, is to stay connected and learn. So it can be, I love to listen to podcasts, so it just keep me, you know, on the go, like what's happening in the world at the moment, different subject on like health, Pilates, yoga, dance, movement, connect to people. Books, I really like. That's, you know, the book I was telling you about gut health. That really, I don't know, I just really enjoy learning something new. So it's through books, through podcasts, and for people. That's actually the most important one. I love to connect with people. I love to share. I love when they share the story, when they'll tell me something I didn't know. That's actually the things I'm the most grateful about when I go to sleep at night, is just like, oh, this happened today and I'm really grateful to have met that person, or this person told me about this, or, you know, all that kind of thing. And since I've been living in London, I'm really grateful for this. I'm working in the store. I'm selling free people movement clothes, but the people I've been coming in have just created such a special connection that I'm really grateful about. And actually the last couple of persons I've met kind of changed the way that I see life, but kind of changed the way I'm going through life. Like, maybe I'm not going to take the same path I was planning to for the last couple of months. I'm actually going to switch, but I don't know, just stay open. Whatever it is, whatever person, whatever book, whatever story, whatever experience, just staying open to what's coming for you. I really believe that we're all here for a reason, and then we all have something to offer to each other in order to be fully, you know, in order to fully live our life. So yeah, that was my, you know, all my tips that I actually try to include into my life. Please let me know if you like this kind of video. And also I'm really excited about a few projects that are coming towards me for the summer in London. And see you guys soon. Bye!